Out here, trust isn't optional. It's essential. That's why crew around the world rely on Asperton Insurance Advisors. Built by former yacht crew, we know the risks, and we know how to protect you. Medical emergencies, mental health, active lifestyles. We've got you covered 24/7. Discreet support, personal service, global reach. Asperton Insurance Advisors, designed for life at sea. Visit asperton.com today.
So welcome to your 5 minutes of self-care. And I'm in Koh Samui, so I'm slowly leaving Thailand to go back to Europe for the summer for 2 months and then head back to Asia. So life as a digital nomad can be interesting, especially when you have a little dog, but that's all good. And I'm definitely going to do an extra episode on this island, Koh Phangan. Experienced a couple of scooter accidents, but luckily not my fault. Yet again, I was able to jump out or jump off the scooter thanks to actually staying fit and taking care of myself and my knees and my leg strength. So anyways, I have just noticed a post that Rhea put on more domestic violence and assaults on board of yachts. Synchronistically, I met last weekend a lady who used to be crew, but she needed to have a break. And she shared with me that it's not only women who get molested on board, it's also guys who get offered blatantly, that they should sleep in the sheep stew or not. And it's interesting because we always assume it's only women, but it's a lot of men, and I have met a lot of guys and also people that I coached who have been traumatized heavily in these cases. Now, if you come out of abuse or domestic violence or assault, and I know these topics are not cheerful, I get that. And there's a lot of people who love using the publicity to just make a name for themselves about matters that they don't necessarily know what they're talking about. They have not experienced it themselves. Yeah, I know I sound very critically, but it is what it is. Now, if you have experienced that, and most people unfortunately have experienced it, or they're not even aware that they have, and they have just kind of brushed it underneath the carpet. There are moments where you will numb yourself and you will not want to feel anything. And when that happens, you always see yourself as the victim because you have been a victim of domestic violence and abuse. It is true. But that does not give us the right to stay victim for the rest of our lifetime. And it's not something easy to say, because if you feel and if you have these scar tissue and these scars within your body and in your emotional body, your physical layer, that also will reflect into your mental layer and the way how you interact with human beings and the relationships you will have, and the way how you will attract the same kind of people who will take advantage of you. Unless we really heal, unless we go inside of the pain and look at it from a bird's eye perspective and look, what is it that happened? Why is this repeating the cycle? And what can I do? How can I take responsibility and accountability for my healing? Not repeat the story again and again and again to your friends, to your family, to your therapist, and repeating the story again and telling the story again of what happens. I cannot repeat this more and more. Your nervous system will not know whether it happened in the past or it happens again. This is scientifically proven. So please check it out. Do your own research. How do you break out of this? out of this old version where you were a victim. But the present version is not a victim anymore. And the future version of you is not a victim anymore. You need to go inside of your pain. There are many people, and this is what I have seen here on this island, because a lot of people on this island come from war zones, stricken countries. And it is horrible because they don't know how to deal with the emotions or the mental health. They don't know how to deal with the memories in their head, what they have seen, what they have endured, what they have heard. And the best escape is drugs, alcohol, getting stoned, taking a line of ketamine, any drugs they can find. Some of them actually use more plant medicine and go from one buffo ceremony to the next buffo ceremony, believing they need to continuously use this medicine, not understanding you need to recalibrate in between. You actually need to stabilize your nervous system again, because you're not doing your nervous system a favor. Everything is connected to your nervous system, your immune system. Everything is interlinked. All the 5 layers of our existence: the physical, the mental, the emotional, the spiritual body, the wisdom body. And then also, when you understand that you're not just like this physical layer, or not just your emotions, not just your mental, not just spirituality and flying up higher and not grounding yourself, if you do not understand that, you will stay stuck. And it is something you need to go inside of the pain, and it requires courage. It requires being so brutally honest to yourself, understanding, hey, how did that happen again? How did I get into the same kind of marriage? I'm just speaking to you now about my own experience, because I walked through it. I walked through the abuse, I walked through the addictions, I walked through the betrayals, and the whole 9 yards of anything and everything. But it doesn't really matter what I walk through. What matters is, what are you going to do about this? How are you going to step up to your game? How are you? You're suffering already. You're numbing your pain. So why not just actually go inside of the pain instead of suffering more, and then eventually just close that chapter? Go inside of it. And how we can numb our pain is with addictions. So from drugs, alcohol, sex addictions, going from one relationship to the other, even spirituality, following someone blindly, a community, not being able to be you, and not even wanting to find the authentic you, because it's easier for someone else to tell you what to do. But this is also not the solution. No, it is not. Because if it is spirituality, it is there to support you finding your authentic self, remembering your authentic self, not finding, going within. That means also going within your pain. Within the Tai Chi Qigong practice, what we do is we burn in specific postures. And what I have from my own experience, and this is only my personal experience, when I was stand in a long time in Mabu, I would actually get within, because I'm always connected to spirits. I visualize what happened to me in the past, that I could feel this pain and then releasing this tension, because my body holds the traumata, this emotion within my body. And Qigong and Tai Chi is such a great practice to release the body, to release especially this traumata in your body. And you can find this in various practices. If this is dance is a beautiful movement practice where you can express yourself, how you interpret and see the music within expressing the movement in your body and moving that energy in your body. And it requires for us to be brutally honest and admit to ourselves, okay, how can I take responsibility that this does not happen again? How can I now take the reins of my power in my own hands, that I do not walk into these same situations, same jobs, same relationships, same communities? What can I do and change within myself to heal this hurt, this pain that I feel, which has happened in the past, which does not happen now? And once you realize that, and you have the courage, and it's not easy, but you get better at it. You get better in healing it. You get better on understanding, okay, yeah, I'm pretty much messed up. I need to figure out what is next. Okay. And this does not give anyone a right to condone, to support, to stay quiet in moments of domestic violence and abuse and assault. Nope, I agree very much with Rhea. There is time and a shift for this industry. But worldwide, as you can see, there is a shift and a time where, and I am not a feminist, I'm definitely not a feminist, where we suddenly do get a different voice as women, because we understand being a divine feminine means we need to change within ourselves and step up to our own power. This does not mean that I hate men or I have something against men, because it's funny, one of my colleagues that I actually supposed to work on a project on the island, he said to me, if I am then on a vendetta against men. And I'm like, that is definitely not the case. No, I love men, man. You know, I love men. You know, even if they're divine masculine, oh my gosh, I love divine masculine men. And it's just beautiful to see. And I have met so many, and I'm actually blushing because I would never openly say that. I met so many really nice men on Koh Phangan who have done the work, who have been really genuine, who have been supportive, who have been great friends. You know, from Nomad, my personal trainer, to Ferdinand, my personal trainer. Bastian, a beautiful German soul that works on the Wim Hof method. And another Sebastian who used to work and who used to practice Kung Fu. And all these men that I have met, it's just such a nice surprise that there is a shift in humanity. And that means there's a shift also in humanity. That means it's a shift in the yachting industry. Why would there not be? But it takes a lot, and it takes also us to open up our mouth. And that's okay. And we will not be the cup of tea for everyone, but that's okay too. So please, anyone who is witnessing any assault, domestic violence, speak up. And also, if this is the unusual case that we suddenly say that it happens to men, of course it happens to men too. I have coached also the men who have been in that situation. And it's not only a women thing. No, it's not. But it seems that it takes longer for us to get out of the traditional role play and the conditioning that has been put upon us for the last generations and decades. Okay. Namaha, namaste.